We're going way beyond just a single number to explore the huge, complex, and super varied landscape of human intelligence.
So, who popped into your head? A brilliant scientist? Maybe a captivating writer? Or, maybe it's that person who just gets people. The very fact that we can picture so many different kinds of smart actually gets to the heart of a really big idea in psychology.
Okay, so this is the formal way of asking a super fundamental question. Why and how are we all different? Psychologists use this idea to explore the whole unique tapestry of human traits. And believe me, intelligence is one of the most fascinating threads in that tapestry.
For the longest time, intelligence was seen as this single, general thing that you either had a lot of or you didn't. Pretty one-dimensional, right? But then a revolutionary idea came along and completely changed the conversation, splitting that single concept into a whole spectrum of possibilities.
This is Howard Gardner's theory of multiple intelligences, and it just completely shattered the idea of a single IQ score. It basically says that instead of one general intelligence, we all have a toolkit of different, independent ones. So the question shifts from how smart you are to how are you smart? Big difference.
And this toolkit is incredibly diverse. I mean, look at it. It covers everything from the word smarts of a great poet and the logical mind of a scientist, all the way to the spatial awareness of an architect and the body smarts of a dancer. The theory even includes things like musical and interpersonal intelligence. Each one is its own distinct way of engaging with the world.
Okay, so knowing what kinds of smarts exist is one thing, but how do we actually use them, out in the real world? Especially when we're facing something totally new and unexpected. Let's move on and see how another influential theory builds on this.
So this is the triarchic theory, and it breaks intelligence down into how it actually works. You've got your classic book smarts for analyzing problems, then there's creative intelligence for when you're facing new situations, and finally, practical intelligence, or what most of us would just call street smarts, for adapting to whatever everyday life throws at you. And what's so powerful about this point of view is how much it values creativity. See, it's not just about what you already know. It's about how you use your experiences to forge something totally new. This is literally the engine of innovation and discovery.
All right, let's go even deeper. We've talked about the types of intelligence and how we use them. But what about the nuts and bolts? Let's take a look inside and explore how our brains actually handle information, according to something called the PASS model. So the PASS model suggests our intelligence is kind of like a three-step process. First, arousal and attention get our brains locked in. Then, simultaneous and successive processing get to work on the information. And finally, planning helps us figure out a course of action. Let's zoom in on that middle part, the two main ways our brains process stuff.
Think of it like this. Learning a recipe step by step. That's successive processing. One instruction just follows the last. But understanding how all those ingredients are going to combine to create a final amazing flavor, that is simultaneous processing. You're seeing the relationship between all the parts at once.
And this puzzle is a brilliant way to see it in action. To solve something like this, you can't just look at one element by itself. You have to see the entire pattern and the rules that are guiding it, all at the same time, to figure out which piece fits perfectly.
So we've expanded our definition of intelligence quite a bit, right? But here's a big question. Is this broader view universal, or does our culture, the society we grow up in, actually shape what it even means to be intelligent in the first place? And it turns out that what's considered smart behavior can be wildly different depending on what a society values. In some cultures, technological skill is at the top of the list. But in others, intelligence is seen more through the lens of social harmony, self-awareness, and how well you relate to others in your community.
And this leads us to another absolutely crucial layer, emotional intelligence. This is the skill of understanding and navigating our own feelings and our relationships with others. It's such a powerful reminder that being effective isn't just about cognitive stuff. It's about mastering the human element.
Wow. We've gone from a simple score to this rich, multi-layered, and even global view of intelligence. We've seen it as a toolkit, a three-part process, a function of the brain, and a culturally shaped idea. So, what does this all mean for you?
At the end of the day, it all comes down to this. Everyone has a totally unique intellectual profile. The most important question isn't how smart are you? The real question is, how are you smart? Getting that is the key to appreciating your own abilities and the incredible talents in everyone around you.
So we'll leave you with that question to chew on. Are you word smart, picture smart, or people smart?
Are you a creative problem solver or a master of practical street smarts? Really understanding your own unique intelligences, that's the first step to unlocking your full potential.
If you enjoyed this explainer and found it insightful, help other people discover it by hitting that like button. And hey, be sure to subscribe and share so you don't miss out on more deep dives into fascinating topics.